What's going on, everybody? Combatants out there. I am AD. That is my partner, JB3, and we are the Breakdown Boys. And Stomping Ground came and went. It wasn't terrible. It was empty in the building. And JB, holla at the people. What's going on?
Yo, what up, combatants? Yeah, man, Stomping Grounds. Yeah, I was not excited for this event, and I think that's what made it kind of seem like it was okay to me because I wasn't too mad about it. I was watching, and like I would any other pay-per-view, I wasn't really invested in any of the matches too much, but a lot of them delivered, except probably not a couple. There were some disappointments. We'll get into that. But as far as an event that I was expecting to be bad, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So that's probably kind of a good thing.
Low expectations, right? That's sad when we have to go into things with no expectations to enjoy it. The card started off with Becky and Lacey, which was a surprise. It was especially a surprise to me when I thought I had missed something when I heard Becky's music come on, right? Like, it was surprising to see her come out first. I think they were just trying to get the crowd amped up. It was like a strategic thing because, not for nothing, that building was empty. They were giving tickets away. As far as the match goes, did you hear them talking to each other and calling out the moves? Because I heard a couple of them.
Yeah, I try to avoid listening because the more and more I've taught myself that the more and more I listen for it, then I'll just hear it all the time anyway. Especially with like John Cena matches, like he's really really bad. Triple H too. If you really listen to Triple H, you can hear him call him. He grunts him. He's like, but if you pay attention, you can hear him. But no, yeah, I try to stay away. Just I didn't hear anything, but like I think I might have trained myself not to, just because I won't look at their lips and stuff. I try to look at. I don't know. It's a process for me. I'm a non-spoiler guy. I hate spoilers, so I don't want to see them call moves, even though sometimes, yeah. But I think the empty arena was the reason for that. Definitely, you can probably hear an echo.
Yeah, you can never. It wasn't like I was listening for it because I got invested because the match started out very stiff. Like, there was hair pulling, there was real like shots to the neck and the throat going,
which it should be for their feud.
They were going hard. Yeah, so they were going hard, and as they were going hard, I started paying attention. Then I started hearing reversal. All right, shut up and do this, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on here?" I was like, "Jesus." Long and short of it, Becky retains her title in a hard-hitting match. We all kind of saw that coming. Where do they go from here with Becky? We obviously know what they're setting up for Extreme Rules, but real quick, your thoughts. Like, where do you go from here? And let's take Sasha Banks out of the equation because she's a non-factor right now. Till I see her walk down the ramp, I'm not talking about it.
Yeah. As far as if it ain't gonna be her, and you never know. Like we talked before, they could possibly be delaying things because of her. But if you had to pick someone else, the only other person that I think it has to be is Shayna Baszler. I don't see any other option. She should have been came up. Becky's a face. Shayna's a heel. Shayna's Ronda's best friend. I think that if it sets up Shayna versus Becky at SummerSlam, that they could really put in like how serious of a threat that is, and she could stay the NXT Women's Champion. For all I care, they did that with Kevin Owens when he debuted, and it worked just fine. So. I mean, imagine she comes up and she's going for the title. She could lose it to Shirai during or before or whatever. But right now, if you look at Raw's roster, if you take Sasha out right now, you got to take Alexa Bliss out of the picture because she's been feuding with Bayley and the whole Nikki Cross thing. So she's already doing something for one title. Because I mean, you would obviously say Alexa Bliss, and there's a couple more, but I think Shayna Baszler.
I mean, now that you mentioned her name, it makes a lot of sense. You could work that 4 horsewoman angle.
Everything.
You could have her, because I know there's a takeover right before Extreme Rules, and I think Io Shirai and her are going into a steel cage. And the takeover I went to, Io lost to her. So I think she could drop the belt now, move up quietly, like don't make an announcement she's moving up, and like at the end of Extreme Rules, let her assault Becky or something like that. You know what I mean? Start the feud like that, or have her assault her on Raw the next night or something. Like surprise everybody.
Yeah, because you gotta face it. In Extreme Rules, they gotta close out the Baron Corbin feud with Seth, and they gotta close out the Lacey Evans feud with Becky at the same time. Let them do their thing, and then they can do whatever they were gonna do with Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. Maybe it's Brock, who knows? But whatever they were gonna do with that, they could do that, and then they could do what they're gonna do with Becky, which hopefully is good.
Yeah, definitely. The Becky Lynch match kind of segues into the Seth Rollins main event. The only way that happens is because Lacey Evans ends up being Baron Corbin's special referee in a decently smart swerve. Can't hit a woman with a chair. I mean, you could if this was ECW, but we ain't in ECW anymore, right?
Or if he was so cold.
Yeah, because Stone Cold would have stunned her ass and been by his business.
Yeah, man, that was I think, like I said, it did what it needed to do. As far as the main event goes, I didn't like the match. I didn't like
match
it was too
garbage.
To me, like, as much as I like Baron Corbin, like, he doesn't right now with the layout and the scenery, he's not a threat. I know he's not a threat to win the WWE title because the WWE has to know that if they put the title on him, it'd be like, like it would be bad. So I get it. He's going to be in this transitional main event spot. So, but it's like everybody knows. Same with Lacey Evans. I mean, you can almost think she could actually get it, but it's a winner take all match. I think they both need to lose. They need to move on to better things. Go figure something else out and let. But yeah, dude, that main event was just.
It was lackluster. It was lackluster.
I'll tell you one thing I like. The delivery for me was really, really bad. I think it could have been good because there's one thing that I like, and they tried to do this, and I think some people caught on to this. It was almost like storytelling full circle because before the special guest referee thing started, it was because of that Jack Cohn or Jeff Cohn or whatever his name is, that one ref who was like, they didn't get along with. So he was like, I'm going to get a new ref. So then after everything that happened in the match, and Becky finally came out and neutralized Lacey Evans' cheating ass. Jeff Cohn came back in and then looked at Baron and it was like, oh no, it's you. And it was like, oh snap. And then he counted and it was like a full circle thing. So that I liked it, but I don't know, the delivery for me, I just think that honestly, I don't want to say this because I like Baron Corbin. I think Baron Corbin is sucking the life out of these. Like, he doesn't belong, so it's bringing it down instead of elevating him up. I don't want to say it.
All right. My thing with Baron Corbin, and we won't, dwell on Corbin too much, but my thing on Corbin is the original Baron Corbin, the guy that came out with the leather and the skulls when he still had the receding long hair. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That lone wolf character that he had, where he just went about decimating things and he didn't really have friends and he didn't really want to smooth up to anybody. He just wanted to fight, win, and beat you up. Right?
Right.
That's the Baron. That's who he has to be. This guy in a almost like a mobster type attire, like, that's just, it doesn't work, man. It doesn't work. It just doesn't. And that's what's sucking the life out of it. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree.
His talent is there, his athleticism is there. He can perform. It's the gimmick and the type of push that's the problem. And on a lighter note, my favorite match of the night was Ricochet and Samoa Joe.
Yes. You know what I said before this match? I said I was sitting with my buddy Trav and we were watching it, and I think my other buddy Jake was here too. We're watching the pay-per-view, having a good time. And I said, right before the match, I was like, man, I hope they don't do a stupid 1-minute match with Samoa Joe again, because they've been doing that. And then I got my wish, and it was Ricochet's, they're both really good. What can you expect? Samoa Joe can wrestle anybody. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. He's good, man. He's good. I think the whole 1 minute match thing where they were trying to have matches around Rey Mysterio's injuries, and I think
Yeah, I would just.
that,
I'm glad they
instead
didn't
of
do
them
it.
killing, yeah, instead of them killing the angle right when Mysterio's was hurt going into WrestleMania, right? They would have just had somebody, surprise Samoa Joe and they have a straight up match. Even if Samoa retained, somebody cool to get a little pop out of the crowd, have Samoa Joe wrestle them and let Ray heal up. Will be, Rey Mysterio right now be a United States champion. I'm glad that Ricochet. I'm glad that Ricochet got his first major, singles title, and that pushes Samoa Joe into the main event, which we saw later on, the
Right.
next day on Raw.
I was happy to see Ricochet. And it was nice to see that little scene at the end when he went backstage and a bunch of people were proud, except Charlotte. I don't know why she was there. It was weird.
I can tell you why she was there.
She's
That's a
owed.
cameo. They gotta keep their star on TV.
Yeah,
You notice
she's
she was
Charlotte Flair.
she
She
was
could do
framed
anything.
right in the middle. Come on, man. I know why she was there. It's a cameo. You watch Marvel movies? You
Of
watch
course,
Marvel
she
movies?
was there.
Yeah, she was Stan Lee, B.
I get it. But I'm just saying. I just had to mention that. I had to throw that out there. I had to make it be known that Charlotte was there. But even though, I mean, whatever.
Everybody, all the wrestlers were dressed in their gear, and Charlotte was dressed in
But she's
in
a
a
heel
business
too.
suit.
She's like, congratulations. But no,
Yeah.
seeing Triple H give him a little hug. It like I always love when that because it shows that NXT heart still there. So man, I'm happy for him. I'm really happy for him.
Yeah, man. You really enjoyed the cage match, right?
The cage match was cool. I don't like cage matches in general because it always is the same. Typically, it's like we're gonna do all these spots, start out, try to get out, and then do could have some big spots, which are always nice to see. It always turns out that you're either gonna try to get out the door, or you're gonna try to do somewhere. Sometimes they get the pinfall at the end, at the finish, but I like this one because of the unique finish. Like it just made sense for Kofi because that's the kind of stuff that Kofi does. Like because he was sitting there, Kofi was trying to get out the door. He's trying to get out the door. He's trying to get out the door. He's trying to get out the door. And Kofi was like, man, like, what else can I do? And he was like,
Jumped out, dove out, cage dive.
Wow, I'm just gonna. That looked like it hurt too, man.
I enjoyed the finish. Cage matches nowadays in the PG since the PG era kicked in. When I was growing up, a cage match was the end all be all. Like if you knew two dudes were going in a cage match, somebody was gonna bleed, if not both of them.
Yeah.
Somebody was gonna go get hit with that door a couple of times. Somebody was gonna fall off the top of it. Like you had big spots, you had drama. Now it's just a thing of obscuring my view. You know what I mean? Back in the day,
I heard. Oh, Chad, sorry to cut you off. I heard. Speaking of cutting off your review, I heard that they no longer they were not shooting the monitors or the having action on the monitors there. Like they stopped having done whatever. It was like, no, I'm done doing that. Like, no pun intended. But he was like, I'm not going to do that anymore. And so the people in the live crowd didn't get to see the monitors and the action like they normally would. So during the cage match, they really couldn't see much, especially the people that were way up in the high. That to me is kind of a robbery. Like, I don't know. He says, I guess Vince said it was distracting, or one of them said it was distracting. I don't know, but
you know why they use those monitors? Because the whole upper deck, the nosebleeds, right? When you're at certain angles and places, that's the only way you can see certain things.
Right, but they stopped.
Yeah, but there was nobody up there. The whole place was empty. It was all covered with tarps.
No, I understand, but I mean, there were still people on the hard cam side up top because they're going to fill that side first. But I mean, I heard, I could be wrong. I heard that they're going to stop doing that. Period. So like, I don't know. Like, we gotta, I guess, look more into it. But it's gonna make I don't know. It's chaos, bro. It's mayhem. WWE is insane right now.
Real quick, Heavy Machinery and the real Daniel Bryan and Rowan. That was entertaining.
Yeah, I
It
like
was
seeing Heavy Machinery. I always think that they're really good, and that's what I think the tag division should do. You know, Daniel Bryan cut a promo beforehand, and he was like just screaming and yelling in character about how they're doing this for the planet and being heel is the whole heel thing. His whole vegan thing, like he was just doing it up, but he was mentioning a lot like how he wanted to save the tag team division, and it was like really good to hear. And then you see in the match, like, man, like I'm okay with short, good tag matches. Like, props to the Usos, New Day, Revival, The Bar. They kept that kind of environment alive for the past 3 years in those matches that they were having, those really good ones. And then on NXT, they had some good tag matches too. But that's the kind of stuff that I like to see. Some like make the tag division important. Like I felt like after Daniel Bryan cut that promo and then I watched the match, I felt like the titles actually meant something.
Yeah, but this is the thing. They can put those SmackDown titles on blast all day and build the tag division that way. But and as long as you have those Raw Tag Team Championships floating around and them doing shenanigans and bullshit with those, it's always going to kind of put a shadow over the other belts. Always.
Heck yeah, it is.
You know, like I said, man, they got to kill this brand split. They got to have, one championship, one tag team champion. That's it. Keep the other singles belts, and because there's a lot of superstars. You have to have people wrestling for things, and condense that tag team division. Have them wrestle on both shows. You know what I mean? Because look, you got the Good Brothers, the Usos, the New Day, the Viking Experience, Orators. You got Heavy Machinery. You could put Lucha House Party in there. Daniel Bryan and Rowan. There's plenty of tag teams there that you can do a lot of cool things, and even like a tournament to see who ends up with the unified belt. You know what I
See,
mean? Something like that.
yeah, I love that. And have a tag, like I mentioned before, have a pay-per-view that's dedicated to the tag team division, like TLC. Like the TLC
Mhm.
match was created by a fire-ass tag division that needed it because they were going crazy on each other.
Yep.
They could, like, man, like, make that shit important. TLC pay-per-view should be all about the tag titles. You know what I'm saying? And if they did unify them, imagine the main event would just be that big ass TLC match for the tag belts, and they could make it fucking epic every single time. And then they could
Or if
have all the rest of the undercard.
Mhm. Or the next Elimination Chamber or Hell in a Cell, lock them all in cage, elimination style.
Yeah, they tried the elimination one. You know what I'm
The
saying? But check, I
Elimination
mean, imagine
Chamber.
this though. Imagine this. Imagine if at the pay-per-view they had 3 qualifying matches at TLC. They had 3 qualifying matches, okay? And the 3 tag teams in those 3 qualifying matches, shoot, they could even have 4 if they wanted to. And the winners of all those matches, it would main event at the end in a big TLC match to go for the tag team titles. Like, bro,
Yep.
like it just made like just big, like make it the biggest thing. Like, man, these tag titles. Like, I like that. I like that concept. Do a tournament, man. Like they need a big tournament. They kind of went away from the tournaments a little bit. I like a
Yeah, they
really
even
good
haven't
tournament.
even heard shit about. They don't even do King of the Ring anymore, right?
No, and I mean they got the Dusty Rhodes Classic, but I'm talking
That's
like for the
NXT.
tag titles. Yeah, like for
Yeah.
the big time action. That's what I want to see.
Oh yeah. Well, if you got to give Stomping Ground a rating, 1 to 5, what do you give it?
I'm gonna be generous, man. I wasn't. Maybe I should go into it with more low expectations, but I want to give it a 3.5. I would have actually gave it 4 stars if it wasn't for that crappy ass main event. But I mean, with Ricochet winning the title, I like that Becky dominated Lacey. With the decent tag team match that I got invested in, And even the Kofi Cage match, you know, the creative with the ending, you know, it kept my interest alive, man. 3.5 all day. I like it. There's a crappy ending, but you know what?
I mean, the cage match blew my hair back. I enjoyed the Heavy Machinery and Daniel Bryan Rowan match a lot. The Becky Lacey match was cool. Bailey Alexa Bliss was okay. Seth Corbin was trash. I don't know. You were a little generous with that 3.5. I'm gonna give it a 3.
I like it.
Ladies and gentlemen, that has been our breakdown recap of WWE Stomping Ground. The building was empty, but we didn't give a shit. We watched it anyway. I have been your host, AD. That, as always, has been JB3. We are the Breakdown Boys, and we out this thing. Deuces.